This is a diagram explaining how granite is made. As magma seeps through weaknesses in the Earth's crust, it sometimes cools intrusively, creating a batholith made of an extremely strong igneous rock called granite. As overlying rocks are removed, the batholith is exposed on the Earth's surface. We call this a tor.
Freeze-fall weathering.
During the day, water collects in cracks in the rock.
At night, water freezes to form ice, and it expands, causing stress, and cracks start to enlarge.
Repeated freezing and thawing. Rock fragment breaks off and collects as scree at the foot of the rock face.
Characteristics of granite. Granite is a tough rock resistant to the processes of weathering and erosion. Granite contains cracks or joints. Vertical joints form when the granite cooled and contracted. Horizontal joints in granite resulted from pressure release as the overlying rocks were removed by erosion.
Despite the presence of the joints, granite is an impermeable rock. It does not allow water to pass through it. Therefore, granite landscapes are often wet and marshy with plenty of rivers. Granite moorland tends to be bleak, wet and windswept. As upland areas, they experience heavy rainfall and snow in winter. Low grasses with a few stunted trees mostly cover the moors, which are deeply dissected by rivers.
The tor begins as molten rock underneath the Earth's crust, but as it cools, it becomes a solid. Over hundreds of years, the joints are formed by pressure being released underneath. The joints are closely and spaced apart. As chemical weathering is happening in the warm and wet conditions, the closely spaced joints are get eroded quicker, but the widely spaced joints are hard and tougher and get weathered less rapidly. As weathering continues, the erosion happens to the soil, and granite/tor is being exposed to the surface. As you can also see, as the chemical weathering is happening, that some of the sides are rounded.
The uses of granite. Granite can be used for many things. For example, farming, meaning extensive sheep farming on poor pastures and in harsh environmental conditions. This is because granite forms upland areas. Water supply, impermeable rock. Several reservoirs have been constructed in steep valleys, for example, the Barreto Reservoir, which supplies water to Plymouth.
Scenery. Bleak and windswept granite forms wild and attractive moorland scenery. This is good for outdoor activities, especially things like walking, bird watching, mountain biking and climbing. Water sports take place in the reservoirs. Quarrying. In the past, granite contained valuable veins of tin and other metals. China clay was used in the industry as a whitener, which originated from granite. Now granite is used more commonly in kitchen surfaces.